Hello everyone, I've been requested to do a future phase overview of the Monsterverse of what I'd like to see in Phase 2. As I'm making this, there's currently Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. With Godzilla vs. Kong still 11 months away, I'd have this movie end Phase 1, Godzilla vs. Kong that is. I have proposed 2 outlines thus far for Phase 2, Godzilla BC Duology, Trilogy, or Quadrilogy, what does it really matter, and Godzilla King of the Earth, or as I numbered it, Godzilla 3. And I know some people have some issue with that, but for now, just call it Godzilla King of the Earth, my fan outline. During the second phase, I'd like to also include a standalone Mothra, which could bring in the kaiju Batra as the antagonist, and Rodan, which brings more character development and builds a bond with an orphan child who becomes a Titan Whisperer. I didn't quite like Rodan and King of the Monsters, and I think this could do him justice. I want Mothra to bring me a little more adventure-driven story, with Batra showing up in the second half. This way we can explore much of other ancient facility points to learn more about the aftereffects of Godzilla BC. Here we can explore Ling and Chen's characters, as well as learn about a new event called The Split, which happened way before Godzilla BC, where all entrances to the Hollow Earth are closed off, with only Skull Island being the last entrance to it. With a standalone Rodan, I'd like to make this character more likable. Hopefully now he's a little more roguish, because I didn't really like him after the Ghidorah fight, and he was a little more submissive than a rogue would seem in King of the Monsters. In this standalone, I'd like to make him an exile or hermit like kaiju, just trying to stay away from other kaijus and the rest of humanity. I'd like to have Mills be one of the main protagonists for Monarch, keeping tabs on Rodan. We see an orphan go in search of Rodan, who prays to the god at an altar, with Rodan seemingly curious, granting this child a gift of Titan understanding, making the child a Titan Whisperer. I'd love to see Rodan build a relationship with this child, as the only exception making the child the bridge between Rodan and Mills with Monarch. And when the island becomes threatened, Rodan, in growing bond with the child, acts to protect them. Following these 2 standalones, Mothra and Rodan, and Godzilla 3, I'd love for there to be a Kong 2 before we move on to the Destroy All Monsters phase. For Kong 2, I can't really know what's in the works for Kong and Godzilla vs. Kong, but it really depends on if they explore the Skullcrawlers in it or not. If they do, and the Skullcrawlers threat is removed, then we'd have to have a new antagonist, which I'd like to pitch Biollante, as from my Godzilla 3 video. This could take place around the time of Godzilla 3, and Godzilla could be more than a welcomed cameo. If the Skullcrawlers aren't touched on in Godzilla vs. Kong, then obviously in Kong 2, instead we come back to an overpopulation of a swarming horde of Skullcrawlers. This is a must. Which they can open a way into a deeper story, pun intended, as we dive deeper into the Hollow Earth theory. One thing I'd like to put back into the lore, and this is just me, but I'd love to find out more background and discovering that the Skullcrawlers were actually engineered by an earlier civilization of man that was at war with the Iwi's ancestors of Skull Island for dominance over what was once the continent of Mu. At this point is where I'd start the crossover before the final phase. In my comments suggested it were Gamera, Ultraman, and even Cthulhu crossovers. The idea can expand to the end of Phase 2 with standalone Gamera, Ultraman to spark the next phase. I'd love to have Gamera be the king of the Inner Earth, and for the purposes of the topic, I'll make the Inner Earth be a deeper tunnel and cavern system that has specific entrances than those found in King of the Monsters with Godzilla's lair, showing that we have only barely scratched the surface of what lies beneath. But due to radiation, only Jaegers or kaiju can enter. Here we'd see Gamera in his natural habitat reign and keep other kaiju in check in the underworld. I'd love for the next portion to explore the Inner Earth with Jet Jaguar and Ultraman in the movie called Jaegers. In this, the Jaegers discover an advanced human civilization that have learned to live in the Inner Earth with their guardian Ultraman, and this ancient civilization is hinted to be the Ultramen. It's here where Phase 2 ends, and whichever other crossovers we have can progress the story. I myself would love to have Destroy All Monsters to converge all of these kaiju and Jaegers for a final epic against cosmic entities such as the sleeping god Cthulhu. I'd first, however, start the first part of Destroy All Monsters with Biollante and Ghidorah's parts, giving birth to Destroya, which is similar to the story I put in my Godzilla game concept. From here, the world is warned of tampering with the monsters and creating our own monsters. And in the next 2 movies, we'd have the next few standalones of the newer introduced characters like Gamma and Ultraman, if this went to the crossover route. And here's where Phase 3 starts, and the standalones are finalized, and this is where my video concludes. Please let me know what you thought of my Godzilla Phase 2 pitch. Please let me know what you thought. Do you like the idea of the crossovers? Do you have something else in mind? Or just keep it Godzillaverse? And if you guys have any other requests for videos, please, always feel free to ask me in the comments. Special thanks to Jack Hamilton for this request. Also shout out to Iceman, another fellow Godzilla lover. Links to both of these YouTubers will be provided in the description. Merry Christmas everyone, 2020 is going to be big. This is Mike G, aka Lord Commander Guts, signing out. Catch you guys later.